Hello there, boys and girls. So in this video, I'm going to quickly show you how to do the habitat slide in your animal research report. So far we've only done our title page, or title slide, the introduction slide where you found 2 interesting facts about your animal, the conclusion where you just type the name of your animal, and then your adaptations where you wrote 3 to 5 sentences about your animal and how it survives in the wild. Now that we've talked about habitats, we're moving on to this slide. It should say habitat right here. And your instructions are to write 3 to 5 sentences that answer the following questions. Where does your animal live? So what part of the earth? And you can say, you can actually find out where, like on what country it lives on, what continent, stuff like that, okay? If you just do your research. What is the climate or the weather like there? Is it cold and snowy like the polar bear lives in the Arctic? Or is it really hot and humid like where the sloth lives? And I'm going to show you my slide in just a moment. What does your animal use for home or shelter? So this can be anything. It could be a cave, it could be a tree, it could be underground, it could be in the water. Maybe if you're doing a fish, does it live like in a cave underwater? Does it live in the coral like some fishes do? Or does it live, did anyone watch Finding Nemo? Finding Nemo, the clownfish, which is what Nemo and his dad were, they lived inside of an anemone, a sea anemone, right? That was their shelter. So you have to figure out what kind of habitat they live in. So remember that in Clever, in Mrs. Santos's page, you're going to find those websites in science that give you the answers to those questions. Okay, use any of these websites. Remember that you can also watch videos about them if it gives you accurate and credible information, which it should give you accurate and credible information. Now I've done my slide. So here it is. I've completed, I didn't have to do anything here, right? These are just instructions. I need to complete my project. I had to do all about sloths. And I did my introduction. I found 2 interesting facts. I did my conclusion where all I had to write was the word sloth. And then I did my adaptations. Okay? So I wrote down how it survives in the wild. Here is my habitat slide. Now as you can see, I took out all of these questions because I answered them. Where does your animal live? Sloths live in tropical forests of Central and South America. My next question was, what is the climate and weather like there? And I deleted that question and I answered it here in a sentence. The climate there is tropical and wet and can get very hot and humid. And then the last question was, what does your animal use for shelter? Again, I deleted this question so it doesn't show up on my slide, and I wrote, because the sloth hardly ever leaves a tree, its main source, of shelter is in a tree. It basically lives there. And so when I finished this, when I finished my writing, I then went to find the pictures. And I really highly recommend that you do that, boys and girls. Answer the questions from the slide first, and then go back and find the cute little pictures. And remember that part of this is to make sure that I'm using photos and maps and stuff that are one, very interesting, and 2, that actually match what I am talking about. So if I'm talking about its habitat, I've got to show my animal in its habitat. So there's my sloth in its habitat and where it lives. So I even included a map of where you can find the sloth. Okay? Have fun finding some info about your animal. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Remember, you are the expert of your animal. Good luck, and let me know if you need any help.